Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for the commitment that you have shown to the content that has been uploaded and published on a regular basis on this channel. And if you're new, I wish to welcome you, and I'd like to inform you that this is a channel that you will find content on personal development, leadership and life management. If you're interested in content along these lines, I urge you to subscribe. Urge you also to hit the notification button so that each time I publish a video, you will be notified. My name is Kpamor Suleh, and this week I would like to give you content that I have titled Proven Ways on How to Excel as a Female Leader in a Supposedly Masculine World. Proven Ways on How to Excel as a Female Leader in a supposedly masculine world. The perception that the world we live in is a masculine arena has been heard by many. Now, whether that perception is true or not is an issue of debate, and it is not the essence for this content. All I desire to give to you is ways in which you will excel as a female leader even in this world that has been considered by many to be a masculine arena. And probably you may not be a female, you will be a male, and you may tend to say that this content is not meant for you. Now, before you move on to another video, please, I want you to know that you have a sister, you have a mother, you also have a daughter that is looking up to you to train her in a way that she can excel as a female leader. And so you'll be doing them good if you learn this content. And you equally need to support female leaders, either at work or those ones you will train from your home to excel as female leader. And so you will need to know what they require to excel so that you will better be positioned to support them. I want you to know that these points I'm giving you are points that have been proven over the ages to be result yielding. And so if you hold them in high esteem and you deliberately commit yourself to them, I can assure you that you will see them yielding results to you. The first point that I want to give you is that you need to kill the urge for competition. If you want to excel as a female leader in this world that is supposedly considered as a masculine world, you need to kill any urge for competition. Now, because of the opposition that female leaders or aspiring female leaders has faced, especially from the male folks, many times when females set out to learn how to lead or to deploy their leadership skills, they usually consider the male folks as their opponent. And so sooner than later, they see themselves trying to learn how to outsmart the male folks. Now, for many who have taken that line of direction, they suddenly discover that it never yielded much for them. Or even if it did, let me inform you that what it yielded for you is far inferior to what you would have gained had you not set out to compete with the male folks. Now, those of you who are very familiar with games, especially football, you will know that it's a part of destruction for you to meet an opponent and try to play with him using the style that he is very good at in order to defeat him. What you do in such an instance is that you develop a stamina or a style that you're very good at, that you know will counteract his own style of play, and then use that to play with him. So if you are a female and you are set out to deploy your leadership skills, or you are an aspiring leader, then I want to advise you that rather than seeing the male folks as competitors, you need to see them as partners in progress. Set out to excel as a female leader using your unique endowment that God has put inside of you. And I want you to know that those endowments are not inferior in any way. They are not inferior in any way. If you develop them, they will set you on your leadership pedestal in a very unique way that you will even become an admiration even to the male folks. The second point that I want to give you that will help you excel as a female leader is that you need to be trusted as a female leader from the home base. You need to be trusted as a female leader from the home base. There is no place I can tell that confidently that females can learn how to lead and actually excel in leadership or better than the home base. There is no place that is a better training ground for females to learn how to excel in leadership better than the home base, either as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter. It is just the best place. And if you have been at home and you have been watchful how females carry out activities at home, it's amazing how they organize things. And I want you to know that the knowledge and skills you need to excel in leadership are not different from the ones you deploy at home. The knowledge you deploy on how menu can be organized across the week, the knowledge you deploy on how you can raise up that son of yours or that daughter of yours, the knowledge you deploy on how you can take care of that husband of yours. This knowledge is not different from what you need to excel as a female leader, even in the public space. So ignoring this knowledge and not paying attention to it simply means that you have set on a path not to excel as a female leader in the public space. You may have positional leadership where people will answer to you and accomplish tasks simply because there is a repercussion or maybe cut of pay or a query if they do not do that. But you can never excel as a female leader who people follow not because they will be punished if they do not, but who people follow simply because they have seen excellent leadership. If you fail to pay attention and be trusted from the home base, sit back, pay attention on how you lead at home, how you organize your menus, how you train up your children, and I can tell you that in that way, you'll be learning how you can excel as a female leader in the public arena. The third point that I want to give you on how you can excel as a female leader in this supposedly masculine world is that you need to be an aggressive pursuer of leadership knowledge. You need to be an aggressive pursuer of leadership knowledge. Now, it's unfortunate that many women or many female leaders who, for one reason or the other, spend a lot of time at home, feel that they don't have opportunities of learning how to lead. In that home of yours, you can actually acquire leadership skills and leadership knowledge that will be very, very helpful to you when you find opportunity to deploy your leadership skills in the public arena. It may be in books. It may be in observing how your children live their life at home. It may be in observing how your husband lives at home. As a matter of fact, when you are deploying your leadership, you will be deploying in a space that will have male folks also around. So you need to know how they live. And just observing your husband at home will be a very good way for you to acquire leadership knowledge. We have a scripture in the Bible, that's Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6, that tells us or told a sluggard that he should go to the ant and learn wisdom. Now that informs us that a human being can actually learn from anything at all. If a human being can go to the ant and learn wisdom, then a human being can learn wisdom and indeed leadership knowledge from anything at all. So despising sources of knowledge or leadership knowledge simply because they seem inferior to you, or they do not have the kind of certificate that they have or that you have, or maybe they are younger than you in age, you are only setting a path for you that will make you never to excel as a female leader. Don't be too high to learn from a young lady. Don't be too high to learn even from a young boy when you see that such a person has leadership knowledge that you need. We also have a story in the book of 1 Kings chapter 10, beginning from verse 1, of how a certain queen called the Queen of Sheba, when she heard about King Solomon, the wisdom of King Solomon, she left her kingdom and went to the kingdom of Israel to learn wisdom from Solomon. You know, to some it could be an embarrassment. Maybe she would have said that, I am a queen, he's a king, so what will people say when they hear that I have left my kingdom and I am going to another kingdom in search of knowledge? It never mattered to her because she knew what she was looking out for. And so she went. And so a place should not be too far for you to go when you know that that journey will yield leadership knowledge to you. Make that journey. Go for that seminar. Go for that retreat. If you know that that retreat or that seminar has the capacity of yielding to you the leadership knowledge that you require to climb your leadership ladder. And let me advise that when you're going for such an adventure, do not go empty-handed and empty-minded. You remember that story tells us that the Queen of Sheba went with some presents to Solomon, and he presented precious things to Solomon. Let me let you know that such presents, when you take them, they may be very little things, but these things are presents that make the possessor of such leadership knowledge know that you value the knowledge that he or she has. And when you have that present and he or she acknowledges that you value that knowledge, there is a high tendency that such a one will empty that knowledge into you. And from that story that we read, from that story in the scripture that we mentioned, between Queen of Sheba and King Solomon, you will realize that the Bible said when the Queen of Sheba was living, Solomon gave her presents far more valuable than what she brought. That is what happens when a pursuer of leadership knowledge values the knowledge that someone possesses. You end up going with far more than you brought to value that knowledge. So when you go on such a journey, do not go empty-handed and do not go empty-minded. Go with your mind, go with your brain, ready to learn and inculcate all that you will be taught by such a person. Let me also advise that when you get to such places or such people, do not only pay attention to the communications that they will have with you. The story between King Solomon and Queen of Sheba tells us that when Queen of Sheba got to Solomon, she was careful to observe Solomon's servants, how they went about their daily chores. She took time to observe how they served even tables, took time to observe how they dressed. And so when you get to such places, observe the person's children, observe the person's wife or husband, observe the way the house is organized. I can tell you that you will be learning a lot from these observations if you are careful. So be an aggressive pursuer of leadership knowledge if you want to excel as a female leader in this supposedly masculine world. And don't discriminate whether it's male or female, so long as you know that you will get what you want from such a source. Set out, never mind how far that journey will take you. The fourth point that I want to give you is that you need to have both male and female mentors. You need to have both male and female mentors. Like I said before, because of the opposition that the female folks have experienced in their quest to deploy their leadership from the male folks, many times most female folks fail to consider male folks as partners in progress. They tend to look at them as opponents rather than partners in progress. So even when these male folks have knowledge that they require in order to advance in leadership, they don't set out to learn from them. They only have female folks as mentors. I want to advise that if you want to excel beyond your peers as a female in this world that we are, then you need to have both male and female mentors. You will learn a lot from them. As a matter of fact, where you will be deploying your leadership skills, you will certainly have male folks either as subordinates or as superiors. And so you will need to know how to tend their ego. You will need to know how to deal with them. You will need to know how to learn from them and also acquire leadership skills on how to relate with them. So have male and female mentors if you want to excel as a female leader in this world that we are. Let me advise, however, that in such a relationship you need to be very careful so that that relationship is not compromised in terms of character. For some, you may even initiate this relationship to be a distant relationship. You may only utilize their materials either in book forms or videos. But as much as possible, be careful so that such a mentorship relationship is not compromised in terms of character. The last point that I want to give you is that you need to commit yourself to female mentorship programs. One of the greatest disadvantages that established female leaders have given to their female folks is the inability to establish concise and well-directed female mentorship programs. Many have tried and succeeded as females, but they have not been able to develop programs that will train up the younger generation. And this can be seen even in attitudes outside of leadership. It's amazing how you see that many times the grown-up women who have been accomplished do not pay attention on how they can train the younger ones. A lot is missing even in handling of house chores. A lot is missing in even handling of relationships by the younger female folks, simply because mentorship programs on how this can be done has not been developed by women or female folks who have been accomplished in their leadership deployment. And this is not just a present day event. There is a scripture in Titus chapter 2, beginning from verse 1, where Paul was writing to Titus and he saw a similar deficiency. And so he advised Titus that Titus should tell the women who are aged and accomplished that they should teach the younger ones on how they can be sober, how they can love their husbands, how they can submit their husbands, so that by so doing, they will be preaching the gospel even to those who will be watching them. The neglect of established and accomplished female folks, of developing a concise mentorship program, has done more harm than good to the female folks. So if you are accomplished, please pay attention to that. And if you are aspiring to be a female leader, Search out for an accomplished female leader who you will initiate this mentorship program and learn from him. And I can tell you, it will establish you as a female leader in this supposedly masculine world. So the points again are: one, you need to kill any urge for competition if you want to excel as a female leader. Two, you need to be trust from the home base. Three, you need to be an aggressive pursuer of leadership knowledge. Four, you need to have both male and female mentors. And then the fifth is that you need to commit to female mentorship program. I am very sure that if you pay attention and deliberately commit yourself to these 5 points I have given you, you will certainly become an excellent female leader, even in this supposedly masculine world. Thank you very much. I urge you to subscribe and also hit the notification button if you have not subscribed. I also urge you to like the video and share with your friends and families and all people who are on your contact or you know that will be in need of such a content. I hope to see you next week, Thursday again. Thank you and God bless you.